Welcome, everyone. And let's welcome us to week number 2. Now, some of you are frustrated with your grades. Some of you are excited about your grades. And I don't want anyone to stress. I don't care that if you have a 30% in this class, it was maybe just a little bit of misunderstandings and that sometimes a little bit of a disconnect. And sometimes it's a really hit in your face that I'm just one of these instructors that you have to watch the class a little bit closer and kind of really dive into what it is necessarily that I am looking for. But proper APA, I don't like being labeled as the APA police. I don't like it at all. I'm known as the easy professor at almost every school that I teach at, except Rasmussen. I'm known as the hardest professor, and I don't really think that that's fair. I'm just asking you to think. And that's what I think it is that you are here to do. So when a student says, Mark, I'm on honor roll, my grade, it doesn't go into my head and I say, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. But I wish that maybe some of the other instructors before you pushed you a little bit harder. Okay. And that's kind of my opinion. Or you're getting out of general education. Those are the math classes, the English classes, and you're starting to get into business classes where things aren't as straightforward as they are. It's kind of to make you think. And that's what I hope to get out of it. Because I'll see some of the students, they'll come and say, oh, Mark wants us to do APA. Well, all your professors should be having you to do APA. Or I'll get an email, Mark, you're making students go to the online library. Well, you should already be going to the online library and so forth. But there's nothing wrong with not understanding that. And there's nothing wrong with you feeling uncomfortable with it. And there's nothing wrong with even disagreeing with some of my tactic that I use. I'm not out to get you at all. I really am not. I really want you to do well. And if you have a passing grade at this time, it may not be the passing grade you want. You'll probably get the passing grade that you do want in the end. And that's what really goes into one's mind. I remember when I was a freshman in college, I failed. Didn't fail a course. I got an F on a paper, and I was coming out of high school. And I said, well, I've never made an F before. And he said, well, maybe you need to get one. I kind of understand what he was saying, and I didn't like it at the time, of course, but I don't feel that way. I do feel that I always give my students an opportunity to do well. And so I don't want to penalize you for some of the previous courses that you may have had, and you weren't pushed as hard. And some students, and I was always jealous of those students that just did great right out of the bat and they don't have to watch the class, never had to come to class. Somehow they make A's in the class. I was just not one of them, and not everyone is. Now, I don't know if you do know, and how it applies to our class was the president of Harvard was fired last week. And I was going to bring it up as well. And I think that there's some politics involved in it. But what they fired her on was the basis of plagiarism, that APA. And I bet you she was on honor roll too. And maybe one of her other professors earlier in her career may have identified stuff, and maybe if they pushed it a little bit harder, that wouldn't have been an issue. Okay. But I don't want that to stress you out. I don't want that to block your mind. Okay. So forget about the grades for right now. And I know it's very hard for me to say that. Also, this assignment for week number 1 is hard. It is. And I wish it was actually in week 2 rather than week 1. But what I do like about it in week 1 is it's an eye awakening. And there's a lot of students, and the majority of students had a big eye awakening. You have to watch the live class. I try to keep them short. Okay, I truly do. And I'll carry on. I had a student said, Mark likes to listen to him talk. Well, because I kept it an hour, I don't know. Because I try to break them smaller, and I try to give you supplemental videos, which I know some of you watch and some of you choose not to watch, because the push and pull was a video, and it's a goofy little video. I think it's 3 minutes long, and you could have been able to learn from that video instead of me doing it, which I probably should. But you needed to tackle that in discussion, which I'll get into just a few minutes. But having said all that, Watch the class every 10 minutes. If I'm driving you nuts, my voice drives you crazy, my personality just rubs you wrong, watch it in segments of 10, watch it, be done with it. Because I tell you how to get an A in this class. There may have been a little bit of a disconnect the week one, or maybe you weren't paying attention well enough. I don't know, but there's no hard feelings on my part. I have no hard feelings against any student. I honestly want you to do well every single time. I'm going to go over the discussions one more time, okay? And I'm never going to bring them up again. I'll just give you the grade and that's the end of it. You're supposed to be spending 3 to 5 hours, according to the syllabus, on those discussions. I honestly do not know how on earth they came up with those lengths of time. I think it should take you 10 to 20 minutes. And if you don't give me 10 or 20 minutes, I'm not giving you an A. First of all, you have to do APA. You have to do APA anytime you use another source, and it has to be done properly. I know a lot of you know how to do proper APA because you did it in the projects. Why you didn't do it in the discussions, I have no clue. But I did refer and I said, oh my gosh, the student did know how to do APA. Why didn't they do it here? And you have to tackle the question. The question for the discussion question, if I go ahead and share my screen, was this. Let's go up here. And if I'm not picking on any student, Carly, Scott, I'm not picking on anyone. If this was your issue, it's just completely random. Now, why is this not wanting to work? This one here. I think it's this one. Oh, shoot. Why aren't any of them here? Share screen. This computer's driving me crazy. Okay, anyway, let me try it this way. It's not picking up one of my screens. Share screen. Let's try this one. I don't know what screen it thinks it up. It's picking up a screen that I'm not using. Okay, it's not this one. Stop sharing. Okay. I want to use this other screen. So I'm going to turn my head this way and let me reorient all my everything over there. And come on. And put here. Take this here. I was prepared and everything was ready to go. Let's go over here. So I'm going to turn my head a little bit, but I can't get this. I can't get it to pick up the screen that I want. Let's share my screens of. Oh, okay, I found it. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's go back over here. I use 5 screens. So if you came to my office, I have 5 screens around my head, and it didn't pick up the one screen that I needed. Okay, gotta get down. Okay, let's go over here and more screens. And excellent. There is the first. That's the screen I wanted. Very good. So you should be seeing my screen now, and it's picked up the wrong screen. So let me go back over here, and let me show my screens. Let's go back over here. There, okay, good. You should see a bunch of screens. Is that correct? You see I have a PowerPoint thing up. I really want right now to be looking at this one. So you should be seeing that. Anyway, I think you are, or the red lines around it. So if I go into assignment 1, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this discussion assignment because it's an easy assignment. I don't really care much for grading them, and I know you don't care much for doing them. And so you could see here 3 hours worth of work. That was set up from the school that you would dedicate your time to this assignment. Okay, and so if you could see the directions, it is recommended that digital marketing focus on pull strategy then rather than push strategy. Generally speak, the goals of pull strategy is to develop a relationship with the brand and generate sales. A push strategy will push a website or store to carry a product. A pull strategy will inform the target consumer of a product, which causes the consumer to demand it, and it comes through the channels. Okay, so many times companies use a combination of push and pull and marketing plan. Share one advertisement that you've noticed recently that uses a push or pull strategy. I have some students that didn't even talk about push or pull. That's the assignment. That's what I'm looking for. 2 posts that address pull and push. 2 posts. In this class, I don't think there was one student that did it both on 2 discussion points, on push and pull for both discussions. Now, I didn't give it to you. If you had 2 good posts, let's get to that. Okay. If you talk about push and pull, at least one of them, I addressed it. I don't care if it's a good website. I don't care if it's a bad website. That's not relevant to this specific discussion. The discussion is based on push and pull and why they used it. Okay, so students who did not even talk about push or pull at all in any of their posts, I took off 20% of their grade. Also, you have to have APA in there. You have to have a reference because you have to go to a website and you have to reference it. So if you didn't have proper APA, you lost 10%. That's 30% of your grade. And those are easy things. The 20% is just addressing push and pull. And this 10% is APA. It has to be right. So either learn it and get your 30% off the top, or don't, and you'll be struggling through it. And APA is not something you should be struggling for. I agree. I don't know why I just take the APA easily. It's just, this is how it is. It's very rigid. Plop, 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 plop. That's right. When I'm doing APA, I look at a reference. I look at the old-fashioned APA book and plop, 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 just like I showed you how to do it in the first class. I have tons of videos on APA and internal citation, which we'll get into a little bit later for your projects. So if you don't understand it, it's okay. You have to learn it now. Okay, we have the writing lab that will help you get through APA, and they have videos as well. APA is either right or it is wrong. And if the president of Harvard is required to do APA, you have to, as a student, also have to do APA. And I don't think it's asking too much to do it. So I am not picking on any student in this discussion. So if I pick one and it happens to be you, not the 2 students that are here, it's random. It's completely random. And the reason why I'm showing this is because this is public information. It's nothing private. It's no one's particular grade or so forth. But if this is discussion 1. Okay, so if I were to go down here, where's your APA? This is called plagiarism. I'm not picking on the student. It doesn't matter. It just happens to be the first one. Where's your reference? Okay, you used it, and it's a great post. There's nothing wrong with it. I haven't read it, but I like the little picture and so forth. But you have to refer to AT&T Fiber Internet. Okay, here's a good one. I like this. I like this ad too. Okay, if I scroll further down, there's the reference. That's the APA. That's what I'm looking for. I scroll further down. That is not proper APA. Clicking on a link does not work. However, and I'm not picking on the student, that does not matter. Remember, I told you, if I were to go here and I hit copy and I go to Scribr APA, I can actually do the citations for free. And it does it for you. You don't even have to plop, 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 plop. It does it actually for you by just pasting it in the link. So let's go right over here. And of course, APA generator. All I need to do is go up here to the top, go ahead and plop that in there. Go ahead and click on cite. And in most cases, it does the citation for you. All you need to do is go ahead and copy it and paste it here. Okay. So all you'd have to do is click right here, click on reference or whatever it is you want. I don't care, and hit paste. Okay. And it did it wrong. Okay. Anyway, see, it doesn't work for me either. Copy to clipboard. Let's go back over here and paste it. Okay. And there's your reference, and that's done correctly. Go ahead and click on save, and there you have it. Now, this is done for this one because I'm not going to change your grades, but I can go through all of them. Okay, that looks correct. That's fine. And I even posted APA. I'm not out to get any student. I'm not out to get 10% of your grades. I really want you to do well. I truly, truly do. And so I posted it here. Actually, I posted like 3 times. It's even up here at the top to be able to help you out with it. and you just go through any of them, any of the students. That's not proper AP. I'm not picking on that student in particularly. I'm just pointing that out. It's just whatever students came back up. Now, if this does not look right, and now you actually have to go to the reference, in some of your cases, you have to, that you would have to go ahead and let's go into citations. So that's what this is all about. There's a generator. But if it wasn't there, then, and this is in-text citation, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but I want to get into references, okay? So references, the author's last name, the year, there's the title, there's how you do it. There's a reference example. However, this one is actually coming from an internet source. So we have to go up here and I have to find an APA. Let's go to Scribr. APA website, okay? And how, using Scribr, how to cite a website in APA, and here are some examples, okay? So for most of you, you're going to have to look at this, and then here it is, an article from a magazine or a blog. Here's APA from an online news site, Weber with no author. This is how you have to do it. It's plop, plop, plop. Last name, initials, this has no date, page title, plop, plop, plop. It's either right or it is wrong. There's nothing in between. Okay, so this is how you would have to do it. So if it did not work it here, you'll have to look up how to do it manually. So if I go into or what you could do is you could go into the Scribr, and there's many of them. I'm not saying one is better than another. Let's go into citation generator, okay? And so if I wanted to go in here and it didn't come out right, and I think most of you know when it's right or wrong. If you don't, it's okay. But I think a lot of students actually do know this, okay? And you now have to go into to do it manually. So here where you paste it, I'm going to cite manually. And let's say it's a web page. Doesn't matter. There's the title, plop, the website name, plop. There's the contributors, meaning the authors, plop. Publication date, plop, access date, plop, URL. So if it is marketing is great, and the website is www, no, this is an example, marketing.com. I'm going to add a person, and the person is Mr. M. Mark Master. Okay, no suffix screen name, okay? Or they had a screen name even. You see here, if you're quoting someone from a blog, it could be that too. So let's go further down. The publication date is 2020. We can have no month, or we can have it February, making stuff up. Third, access, we got it today, www.marketing.com. I go ahead and click on Cite, and it does it for you. You see that? All you need to do is copy and paste it. That's it. So that's all. And then this is true when it comes to your references and anything you do, the discussions, your paper, everything and anything. Now, everyone knows that I do regrades. So I don't want any student to be upset with their grade. I want you to learn from it, but I never want it to penalize from your learning. That's why I give you an opportunity to rewrite any of your papers without any penalty. There's no penalty, but you have to do the minimum. The first thing I'm going to do is see if the APA has been corrected. If that's not your problem, I'll make sure I'll go into each little section that I was looking for correction. If you did not do the minimum of the correction, I will not regrade it. It's not fair. I'm giving you an opportunity to rewrite your paper. You have to do at least the minimum for me to regrade it, because all you're going to do is be angry and you're going to regrade it, write it again, and I have to regrade it. And I don't mind reading it over and over again. And trust me, there is nothing wrong with you not understanding. Text me, call me, set up an appointment. I am so available to help you out, to help you do well, but you got to help yourself. And students that procrastinate, do not wait to the end of the term, week number 6, and say, Mark, I'm failing your class. Trust me, I will have 10 students. I have 20 of you. I have my whole life. I work at Carnival, the cruise ship company. I have a full-time job. And so all of you coming, Well, you had 6 weeks to do it. Why didn't you bring it up earlier? Why not get the hard stuff out earlier? Talk to me about it. There's no criticism on my part. There's one thing not to understand, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing to be ashamed of that. But it's another if you don't try. And there's another if you don't watch the live videos. It's another if you don't read the assignments. Those are completely two different things. Okay. Now, internal citation in your papers, you even in the discussions, you should be using internal citations, but okay, I'm trying to get your references. Okay. 2 equal quality posts. A lot of students will give me a good quality post 1, and then their second is 3 sentences. I'm not hearing you say, oh, yeah, that post was nice. Okay. I'm looking for 2 equal posts. Your one post, your second post can be rebutted to another student. I think that makes it more interesting. Maybe find more research. I don't know. Be nice to them. Maybe say, well, maybe I slightly disagree with you. I think it's this. There's nothing wrong with that. But here's my sources. Make it interesting. 2 equal posts. And if you don't understand that, I even have help to do well. Okay. There's even discussion help for you to be able to download and be able to see other student examples. When I see at the end of the term, and write whatever it is you want, that's fine with me. But when I say, I didn't understand any of the work, well, you didn't call me, did you? Did you look at any of these resources? Because I help you get an A in this class. I basically give you an A. And the first week, don't be saying, well, that's not true. He's mean, he's hard, whatever's going on through your head, here's your choice words, it's going through your brain and so forth. I understand that. However, we'll meet somewhere in the middle and you will do well. Okay, you will do well. So here's post number 1. Here's the references here. And then here's post number 2. Actually, post number 2 is better than post number 1. But you could see them right here. So I even give you examples for you to do well. You got to open your eyes. Now, one thing about the newer or younger generation, especially because of the use of technology, their eyes aren't wide open. If I don't feed it to you, you won't see it. Well, that's not my problem, okay? And that's not going to be your employer's problem either. So get in trouble here and open your eyes or get fired at your job in the future. I think that's what the president of Harvard is saying right now. Okay, I'm not picking on her. I'm just, because I actually like her. But she's not immune. You aren't immune either. And I would hope that all of you want to do real well in whatever your lives they may be. And this is not a reflection of your life from here at all. It isn't. But I'm going to strengthen your brain. Okay, I'm going to strengthen your brain. You may not like me now, but somehow in the future, you'll say, okay, it was that crazy marketing professor I got. Okay. Anyway, that's the discussion. I'm done talking about them because it's not a difficult, it's such an easy assignment. I would not have you do them. I'd have you write 10 more pages on your paper. You don't want my alternative. Okay. So let's go right over here into this assignment. Okay. So in this assignment, what I recommend you to do is print out the rubric. Okay. I'm looking for 7 slides, not 6 slides, not 5 slides. I'm not looking for 7 slides that have a header page and a reference page. That's 5 pages. Okay. And I'm not looking for you to have a whole bunch of headers. Some students just have a slide with benefits. That doesn't count either. Okay. Just be having a slide there doesn't count. It has to be substantive. Okay. 7 slides. Okay. With at least 3 resources from ProQuest or EBSCO. Okay. When you go and use ProQuest and EBSCO, you have to use it in your paper. If you do not use it, F. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, you just threw stuff in there. I had a student that actually put in resources of marketing of Mumbai and New Zealand. So I had to, and that's fine if that's who your target market is. But if you're going to be selling textiles in the United States, is that relevant? I'm not too sure about that. What I think they did, and I even said this in the live class before, was, and I picked an article from Mumbai as an example. I said, unless you're doing a study on Mumbai, it would be fine, but it wouldn't necessarily be relevant. I even said that. And then a student that had references of Mumbai, New Zealand, and then they had a website. I'm not picking on, if that student who I'm talking about, if they're here, not in a live class, but if they're watching it, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying that I do look at them. And I try to see the relevance of what they are as your paper. A good paper is your idea supported with fact. You are a consultant and you're consulting a business that does business to business only, not business to consumer, business to business only. And you are selling to other businesses. And presently, they're making a lot of money. They do not need you. But you're there to persuade them that they would make more money if they go online. That's the whole project. Show me the money. Everything you say should show me some money. Because if it doesn't matter. Are people watching television at work? Probably not, so it's irrelevant. Okay. Are people on Facebook at work? That depends. And we're going to talk about that more today. But remember, I even said that last week. Be careful with social media. When it comes to social media, be careful. You have to support your choices with facts. And I talked about LinkedIn, I talked about professional blogs and so forth. So when you get into Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, is your employer actually allowing you to watch TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram and Snapchat while you're at work? Probably not. So do you think the buying department, another business that may be buying your products, do you think they're looking for you on Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter? Probably not. And they're probably not watching TV either and watching The Price is Right because it's not necessarily relevant. We will talk about how it is relevant, but I want you to think about it. Now, if you use LinkedIn, that's great, but I want you to show me the money. But that wasn't necessarily the assignment for week number 1. For week number 1 was imagine you are a newly hired marketing consultant for a textile company that focuses on business to business. Business to business is completely different than business to consumer. You talked about this in Principles of Marketing, but if you didn't really get that out of that class, go back to it. I do have videos on business to business versus business to consumer. It's different. How businesses buy is completely different. They buy them in bulk. They think about it. There are steps involved in it. There are other persons that have to go into that decision. And once they sign the contract, they're with you. So the process is a little bit different. And you're going to businesses and you're communicating to them while they're at work. Now, some of you are allowed to go on Facebook and on Twitter and Snapchat or whatever at your jobs, but most companies, they don't allow it. At Carnival, it's blocked. So if you try to go into any of those websites, it'll block you. And a big thing comes up, goes to human resources, and we'll talk about why you're going to Facebook at work. Okay, unless you're in social media talking about the cruise ships, and that is your job. If it's not, you don't need to be going into Facebook at Carnival. Okay, and I don't think textile companies would either. Okay, however, this is my talk about social media. One thing neat about Facebook and Twitter and all of them is they do have that algorithm, and they know what you've been searching at work at Google. So when you get home, you may go and to Facebook, Twitter, and that algorithm will pick up the fact that you were looking for a textile at work, and it may throw in some of those things. You think it's a mistake why Facebook throws stuff at you? And so there's a connection. There's a reminder. That textile company, you're not thinking of the connection, but Facebook did. So there it can work. Facebook blogs for your relationship with Twitter. Some students talk about that, talk about what's in with textiles or what have you. That could work both. I guess I don't really know how on TikTok, but it's an evolution. Facebook, Twitter, I could see those conversations when they're going with your workplace to kind of remind you, oh yeah, that was that textile that I was thinking about. I can know what the new styles are and it kind of reminder ads. So yeah, they are effective, but you got to get me the research. I had students that just throw in, we're going to go to Facebook. Not Facebook anymore. I'm old, so I know Facebook. They always love to go to Twitter. And that's because Twitter is your favorite social media. Hey, Twitter's catching up. They are. I do research on it. I teach online marketing. I know. And also younger persons are getting into these decision making. But I don't really see it as a direct connection with some of those social media channels. But they do give great reminder ads. Television does the same exact thing, but it depends on where you're targeting it. Are you targeting on CNN, Bloomberg News, the financial channels? When you're watching any Fox Business, it doesn't matter, any of them. When you see an ad and it's not relevant talking about this and consulting firm, has no relevance to you, but it does have relevance for those that are looking for consulting firms. And that's why that ad is there. Sometimes the ad is there merely for the stockholders. Oh yeah, Sony's great in their infrastructure package that they're doing. They didn't talk about their headphones. They didn't talk about their televisions. They didn't talk about any of their technology. But what they were talking about is how great of a company they are. Who they are talking about in that television ad is to the stockholder. And all they want you to do is buy more stock in Sony, for instance. So when I say loosely, is it a good source for business to business? I want you to support it. I want to see the money. That's where most students went wrong. I didn't see the connection between what you said and the money behind it. Business, unfortunately, is a very selfish thing. We do not do things, and we do things for good things. That's the nice side. They take my ethics class. We're nice and friendly. In this particular class, show me the money. And that's all I care about. Anything you say, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, and it doesn't matter. I want you to get me support to say why it's going to get me the money. I can easily disagree with you, and that will not affect your grade. And actually, I'll learn. Part of the reason why I do teach, because some people at Carnival ask, why do you still teach? You don't have to. And I said, the reason why I teach is I want to learn. I want to keep up with what we are doing actually from an academic standpoint. Is I'm evolving every single day. And I thank my students, I thank you all for being here because you teach me. And that's why I teach, is to keep learning myself. And the best place to learn is at a college, don't you agree? And so you help me learn. So it doesn't matter that it's, if I think it's right or wrong, it may not be for me, but that will not affect your grade in my class. It will not. But you got to show me the money. That gets you an A in my class. Everything else is a bunch of fluff. Okay. So if I go down here, and this is true for all the assignments, and when you rewrite, I recommend you to get me in and out of your rewrite as fast as possible. If you have to highlight these are the changes I made, fine, do it. I don't care. But I have to look at it. I want you to look at these. So in terms of the benefits, it's a comprehensive description of the two benefits of having more of an online presence for the company. That's what I'm looking for, is why is it going to make me more money? I'm already making millions of dollars. Who are you to come into my office and say that I need to go online? COVID did not change business to business online. It evolved and it moved a little quicker and we do things a little bit different, but it wasn't revolutionary like it was for business to consumer. So it's not necessarily relevant. I may be wrong, and that's okay. And maybe it's different for textiles. I don't know. But it's not something that's necessarily revolutionary for business to business sales. Now, I would not have taken points off for that, so don't worry about that. Now, devices. A lot of students got in trouble with this one. All they did was write smartphones, tablets, and computers. Okay, I know they exist. I have one of each. Show me the money. How many times have you bought $1 billion or $1 million contract on your smartwatch? I know I never have. I don't even like using my phone. The writing is too small, but I'll do it. I am a person. I mean, I have a brand new phone. I have a folding phone to make it even bigger. So I have a super joint big phone, and then I made it smaller so I could appreciate it. I'm not ready for the fold. It reminds me of the old phones. I want smaller phones, not bigger phones. I'm upset that everyone in the market wants to stare at their phones all day. And so they're making more and more things on phones. I want tiny little phones. I wish I had a hearing aid that was my cell phone. but this way or that way. Okay. I want to see the money. Why computers? Why will it make me more money? Why tablets? Why would they make me more money? Saying that they're just portable means absolutely nothing. But the fact that they're portable and I can still make business decisions when I'm actually at the factory, that would be a little different, don't you think? The cell phone, it could send me reminder ads, keep a feedback loop, more connected with my market, but get me facts to support it. Most students just gave me a bunch of fluff, or I had a lot of students to say computers, tablets, and watches. And they had a picture of one. They were very beautiful. And I was very gracious. Okay. It wasn't the assignment. The assignment was comprehensive examination of 3 different devices that customers may use and why consumers that being used makes a difference. Get me facts, get me numbers. That's the difference. That's what I'm looking for. Everything else means nothing to me. Television's okay, fine. Get me the facts. Remember, you're a textiles company. What I recommend you to do, and you're kind of going to have to do it this week. I said this last week as well. Pick a textile. Are you making fabrics for sofas, for curtains, for towels, for clothing? Some of you use the project from your market principles of marketing class. I know what you made because I taught the class. You were made t-shirts. So how are you making t-shirts in this class? You're making fabric, not t-shirts, but maybe you're going to sell to a t-shirt company. So I know what you did in your last course. Anyway, considerations, a comprehensive review of at least 3 different considerations that need to be kept in mind in the decisions to move forward. You're telling me why I need to go online. And these are the 3 considerations I need to focus on that will make me more money. Otherwise, get out of my office. I hope that makes more sense. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that in your speaker notes. Speaker notes should be an automatic 100. It's a gimme grade. It's just 10%. There's your 3 academic resources, and you use them. I hit Control F and I can find them. Now that students know that, those that are watching the video will throw in the source, but it won't be connected. It'll make absolutely no sense. Okay. I know that it's you, and I know that it's not a direct quote. Remember, if you paraphrase someone's idea or you are direct quote, you have to cite it. And actually, that gives you credit. It's saying, Mark, this is the research I got, and that supports my idea. Now, if it's from Zimbabwe or New Zealand, I don't see the connection unless you're selling there. If it's from 2002, I don't know if they had tablets and smartwatches like we have today. I don't know how that's relevant. And then, of course, your APA, is it done correctly with internal citation? Okay. I even had help for you to do your APA here as well. Okay. So one of the announcements, read all of them. I told you that. Okay. I had a dean tell me I have too many posts. And I said, what am I supposed to do? They don't read them. Well, she made a good point. She said they won't read them if you had more in them. So I don't know what to do. I don't know, but they're there to help you do well. So if you go, my favorite one is this new one, citation missing a parts for internal citation. There is your in-text citation, one author, last name, date. That's it. Nothing else. Some students copy their reference and put it in their paper. No, it's this. That's all. You have 2 authors, 3 authors, an organization, it doesn't matter. I always suggest you always use parenthetical citation because it's always right. It's not wrong. Don't be the president of Harvard who got in trouble for plagiarizing and lost her job. I think she was a pretty good student. She was the president of Harvard. Don't be that person. And I did admire her. I did like her. Okay. And so it's unfortunate. Anyway, here, narrative. I always stick to parenthetical because I know it's always right. This is a little goofy. Use the name in the sentence and then you always have the date. Do whatever makes you happy. I don't care. Get it right. Okay. Because, and I said this the very first week, if I mess up with my paraphrasing or my quotation, I get fired. And we see an example of it happening from one of the best universities in the country. Okay, there it is. Now, it used to be author's last name, year, and page number. This is when we use more old-fashioned the books. We knew what page number it is. And as we go online, they don't necessarily know what page number it is anymore. So they've dropped it. So it's really last name and year. You can put in the page number if you know it, but if you don't, it's okay as well. You see it right there, and you'll be perfectly fine. And it gives you credibility. I know you use that resource to support your idea. It's idea supported with someone that has more credibility than you. It supports your idea. Now, I sometimes see in papers that people just put internal citation everywhere. Are you just copying and pasting from some article and making it yours? I don't know. That's not right either. I'm really focusing on your idea and then someone else's to give you credibility. Okay, because if you ever catch me on the street and you start talking to me politics or whatever, we're not talking about politics here. You argue about marketing, whatever you want to. I'll say, where are your facts? Has anyone ever said that? Where are your facts? It's the same thing here. However, your facts have to come from the online library. So this student asked me to kind of go over their paper, and I think that you're kind of getting the gist of it. Okay, so first thing I do with anyone's paper is when I come right over here, you can see I count them. I don't count the title. I go right over here. I'm not really sure what this was. It doesn't count against you, but I'll count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't count this one because it's just a question mark. It's fine. I know what they're doing. It makes it pretty or whatever. It's still 10. I don't know if I'd count this one because it's kind of thank you. So we'll keep it at 9. Is that fair? We'll keep it at 8 slides, which was more than the assignment. And then here's the references. So I count them first, make sure there's 7. This student more than did that. Here are the references. And I'm not picking on the student at all. It was actually a really good one. It was really, really good. And I see the student understanding and focusing a little bit better, and we'll definitely get an A in this class. Okay. I see the connection. Okay. So I don't want them to worry. Okay. Then from here, I look at the references. Here's 1, here's 2. And I know this is 3. Okay. So those are the academic resources, and you can use other sources. It's fine, but you got to use them. Now, all I need to do is hit Control F, Tang, and I can go right through it. It's kind of weird, and there it is again. Okay. So all I'm doing is there it is in the resources. Okay. So what basically all this is a paper with a bunch of pictures in it, if you really want to think about it. So want to go ahead here is let's talk about review business. That was the kind of the background. I don't disagree with the point they're making, and it is supported with facts from an outside resource, but and that may be completely wrong. Okay, maybe the textile business completely revolutionized. I agree, online marketing completely changed due to COVID. Business to business, yeah, it did, but it was always kind of there. Okay, and it continued. There were new adaptations for it, but also, was it really because of COVID, or was it because a newer, younger generation is starting to make business decisions and how they do things? We're accommodating how they research to find a textile company. Keep that in mind. Was it necessarily COVID, or was it the fact that a new generation is also moving into management decisions? Okay, not too late. That's fine. But do you see how there's an end after everyone? I don't necessarily, are you just saving yourself? It's perfectly fine. And I didn't take points off for that. But be aware, it's wherever that paraphrase or that quote is, that's where your internal citation, not at the end. Okay, not just at the end. Okay, so I'm looking for the benefits. Okay, the benefits of digital marketing. So now let's go on to the next part, which is the devices. Okay, it's perfectly fine. Okay, consumers use a variety of devices to access the internet. I agree. 3 of the most popular ones are smartphones, tablets, and desktop computers. I don't disagree with that, but is that true for business to business? Mobile phones are responsible for more than half the world's online time online and half of all website traffic. Is that true for business to business? Or is that true for business to consumer? Because if you come to my workplace and I see you on the phone, you're probably not going to be here very long. Okay. But I'm not discounting it. People are on the phone at work too. And yeah, maybe they're looking up stuff. But if you're on Facebook, so long, you're not working here. Okay. Think about how you content yourself in a variety of devices, including mobile devices, tablets, televisions, and more. It's a fine point, but I don't see how it's relating to business to business. That's what it is that I'm looking for. Reddit on your desktop. Well, if you're on Reddit, are you working? I'm not saying that it's a bad source, but what I am saying is, how is it going to make me more money selling textiles? Switch to Facebook via apps on your mobile browser. Finally, read current events. Okay, get me the research. But I think that I've said it well enough. If you don't still understand it, reach out to me. It's okay. Okay, so that was the issue there. The benefits, I don't really necessarily see them here. Digital marketing refers to the marketing activities and internet knowledge of potential consumers by matching their needs. You're absolutely right, but okay, fine. I already do that really well. Okay, I already make millions of dollars. How are you going to make me more? That's the real question. What are the benefits? Okay, of marketing tools, strategy of the internet, with explosive growth of internet users. Well, the internet user for business to business is pretty steady. However, they are purchasing more using the online. Where's your research? Okay, so if I go down here, some online options of website SEO, which is great, contact, attractive content, social media, informing. Now, I made a comment in your grade talking about social media. That's where this had come from, that I wanted to see your proof. You went right into Facebook, Twitter. Okay, LinkedIn is good. I like it. YouTube, Instagram. Show me the money. You're on blogs, you're watching videos and podcasts and news and ebooks and social media. My job, you're fired. And I'm at work right now and they all hear it. So is the buying department using those sources at my company? Probably not. Now, those web designers may be, because we do have a social media presence. And they will go into those sources and they'll dive into them, but that's a little bit different. And that's also business to consumer as well. But business to business is a little different. I'm not disagreeing with this. I just don't see the connection with this and business to business. I hope that's making sense. And the student asked me to go over this, so I'm not picking on the student. I want them to do well. It's a good start, and we're just going to make it greater. That's all we're doing here. So for those students think that I'm picking on someone, I'm not. I'm really not. And I'm being aggressive and being moving because I want you to hear it. I want you all to hear it. Okay. Then I did like how she went in the SEO strategy. We're going to revisit SEO and so forth to make sure that you're up there. I agree with all this. These are some really good facts, but are they business to business? You went right back into the smartphone. Okay, fine, but prove it to me. Okay, but here it is, helping our company more than others as a business to business consumers question. They trust and remain loyal. Excellent. And they grab the fabric. So what you're saying is your online presence creates trust and that creates more loyalty to buy from us? Excellent. But that's not what you said throughout the entire thing. We went right back to social media. Okay. Then others as business to business, for instance, LinkedIn platform is designed to provide professionals networking. Exactly. Very, very good. Now, Pinterest is fine. Pinterest is really interesting because Pinterest does things a lot different. They're actually one of the more profitable of bringing in cash from how they do their business because they connect small business individuals, more business to consumer, but they really have a neat marketplace. So how Pinterest does things, Etsy and all those others, they're a lot different, but they're more geared towards business to consumer versus business to business. Okay, so spending around 5 hours a day. If you're spending 5 hours a day at work on your smartphone, I got to start asking people if that's what they're doing. 70% of web traffic comes from their cell phone. I believe that to be true, but I hope you're not doing it at job. And I'm hoping they're hearing. Be patient, results aren't overnight. I agree with all this, but is this starting to make sense? Now, I like these 5Ds, direct, define, develop. I'm not sure where they came from. I think they came more from LinkedIn and for what you want to do with them. But it's good, and it was really interesting that they showed. Okay, then here are the benefits, which really are those considerations. Personalization, instant traffic control, data analysis. I agree with all this, but I don't see the connection between business to business and online marketing to make me more money. Remember, I got to pay your bill. You're going to cost me $300,000. Then I have to go and make an online presence, which is going to cost me another few $1,000,000. And now I'm going to make millions and millions of dollars more than the millions of dollars I already make. I hope this is sinking through. Now, here's another one that I really did like. Okay, this one was done a little bit different. It was another option that you can have slides and they turn them all into a PDF. So here's your picture, and here was the speaker notes. So company overview. It's a textile. I've been in business for 15 years. I don't care what you said. It's great. I count the slides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then 7 was the first slide because they did talk about the general background. I did give it that for that one, so that the introduction. Here's the references. I zoom right in. I look at them. 1, IBSCO. There's the other one. If you don't know how to reference on these sites, I showed you how to do it. Go through class 1 again. Okay, so let's go back up here. And they talk about these things. Here's the background of the company. I gave it to you because, and I counted it as a slide because that's what part of the assignment was. Do not waste too many slides. Not some student will say, okay, he gave a point for that one. And then I'll have a student, they'll give me a background that's 5 pages. And they'll say, okay, there's enough. And that's not what I'm talking about. This student only used 1 page. Okay, here's the other one, benefits. Okay, business buying is 39%, turned into research of the actual company of 21%. Of what we rely on loyal customers, mouth of business, said that several workers of years reach more companies and even more countries. Excellent. Online marketing, talked about social listening, societal efficiencies. Social listening allows tuners to get immediate feedback from businesses about products. That's one thing about social media sites, that companies can be able to adjust to them and so forth. Here are the facts related to that. Then traditional versus online marketing. Okay, it's countering what I say. So much money for direct marketing, magazines, newspapers, and this is how we should be optimized to online. The point was that it's less expensive. Okay, smart devices. This is a very touchy one, but talked about how new businesses flashing at 27% year, millennials and Generation Z. Isn't that something that I said? I was saying that business to business not necessarily changed due to COVID, but is it younger people now making those decisions? And that's what what she wrote in her paper. She talked about social media, Google, those general searches, and how they use it in business to business. Goals and budgeting, those are the considerations. There they are, and then we're done. Very, very good work. Same thing, here's another student's. And I have student work for you to be able to refer to in the student help section. So here's another student's, okay? Here's online marketing cost. Just like I did with any of the others, I count the pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's the references. I look through references, make sure they're there. Then I go up here to make sure there's internal citation. See, they're here at the end. I didn't take any points for that. It's just where your idea is. See here, whenever I see a number, I'm looking for a citation. UK studies, 91% of retailers have shown significant increase of digital signage and marketing. Now, be careful. I'm looking for business to business, not necessarily business to consumer. So be careful there. I didn't take points off for that, but I want you to be cognizant of it. Okay, so who's your target market? Other businesses. 91%, where's the reference? It could be right at the end here, not necessarily there. Considerations, okay? So you kind of are getting what it is that I'm looking for, okay? Now, we will revisit these PowerPoint presentations again, I believe in week 4, so be aware of it, but you'll start getting into a groove, okay? You'll start getting into a groove of what it is that I'm looking for and how to be able to get there and be able to do well. But I want everyone to feel free to come to me, to call me or text me, because there's nothing, I don't want you to ruminate on this and I don't want you to be upset. I want you to honestly do well. Okay, so the discussions, we know how to do it. 2 equal great posts, citations with APA. I already know people have posted in week number 2 already, and they do not have proper APA. Fix it before I fix it for you. Okay, so watch these little videos. I had one that help you with push and pull strategy in week number 1. You see it right there. I'm gonna post more videos for you to watch. Watch them. Okay, so this week we are going to be your readings. There's your writing, your class, your work. And so, I trade stocks during the day. But anyway, let's go right over here and let's go into your content for week number 2. Same exact thing. Let's tackle your assignments. We already know discussions. I don't need to go over them anymore. So let's go ahead and look for week number 2. And what I recommend you to do here is, again, business to business. Some students had websites like Midwest Textile. I don't know what they were, but anyway, I don't know what it is you were doing. I don't know if you're modeling that as your company rather than the one that's already here. I'm not sure. But anyway, you are currently developing content for a company's website. The website is up to date in terms of pricing and product it offers, but there's no additional information about the company. Its history, its brand, its philanthropic, meaning what it gives away for, volunteer work and nice things that it does for the community. And the company has a long history of donating to children's organizations nationwide to help clothing needs, and it's not mentioned. Now, be careful with that, because you donate something doesn't show me the money. Do you think Tom's Shoes gives shoes for free because Tom's is a nice guy? Well, I think Tom's is a nice guy, but it's made him a lot of money. Something new with the younger generations. Do your research. They like that philanthropic, social sharing and so forth. But show me the money. Okay, so there's also no social media, PPC, CEO, and conversion rate optimization. I will discuss that further in your announcement section. I'll add them right after class is done. Write an executive summary for the board of directors, at least 2 marketing methods, 2 of them. Okay, the click ads, affiliate marketing, PR, viral content, display ads that would be useful to be again. Okay, the suggestion is 1 to 2 pages. 1 whole page. Give me 1.5 pages. Okay. What your assignment is, 2 online marketing methods, an explanation of the methods described for your target market. So who is your target? Are you selling to hotels to make comforters, bedding? Are you for clothing companies, for whatever it is your textile is selling to? That's your target, not to a mother with 5 children. We are selling to the person that makes the clothes for that mother of 5 children. Okay, 3 resources and the reference page. So when you get into that philanthropical or the social aspect of your marketing, how will it affect your consumer? Because of the clothes that you're wearing right now, if you're wearing a name brand, do you know where it's made? Do you know who actually made it? Guess did not make it. Close. You got Nike did not make it. Adidas did not make it. Someone made it for those manufacturers. Okay. Do you know who they were? Probably not. But you know that Adidas and Nike do nice things. Is it really Nike or Adidas that actually did it? Or was it the manufacturer who does it for them, that they share the benefit? Okay, so those are things to think about. Go right over here and I want you to download it. Your marketing methods, your comprehensive new marketing method, at least 2. 1, 2, show me the money. I don't see any money, F. In real world, you get fired or you get no money. So I don't know how else to do it except it will affect your grade. So comprehensive explanation of the target market. Define who it is. Make it clear. It'll make it easier for you. Trust me. You should have really done it last week, and I did mention it. But this week, you were definitely going to identify your target market. Okay. Comprehensive details about the importance of regular management, social media, marketing methods, and so forth. Okay. Be careful with this one because you got to get me the research. By default, everyone goes to Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. Show me the money. Okay. Content ideas. This is my favorite section. I really want to see something new and revolutionary. Get fun with it, but show me again the money, your resources, and your APA. Your magic word for today, write this down, is I will use proper APA in the discussions. I will use proper APA in the discussions. That's your word. I forgot all about it. But anyway, put in your word, get a good grade. I appreciate my friend Carly and my friend Scott for coming to our class today. I'll end the class and ask you if you have any questions. But if for the class in general, sorry this class went for so long, watch it. Because people watch the beginning, they watch the end. Okay, Scott, Carly got to watch the whole thing. But I show you how to get a good grade. And there's nothing wrong with not understanding. There's nothing wrong with getting a disconnect. Don't get frustrated. Call me, text me, whatever you need to do well. There's a difference between that and not watching this class. There's a difference between misunderstanding and not even using any of these resources that I provided for you. That will get me a little bit of, it doesn't get me upset. I don't care. We have to go over it anyway. I want you to do well. I want everyone to do well. Have a great week and have fun in the discussions. I'm going to stop the recording and then I'll open up for questions for those that are here. So let's go over here and stop recording.